is Alec Urat.
I'm Anthony Abruzzo.
I'm Kayla Viewers.
I'm Jason Cordova.
Alexa Douglas.
And today we'll be informing you on the wonderful holiday of Christmas. We will be teaching you about the origin and history of Christmas, other cultures that celebrate similar holidays, the economic benefits of Christmas, as well as...
Daniel!
Wait, what were we talking about again?
Christmas, silly.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
Christmas.
Oh, really? What is Christmas?
Kayla will tell you.
Christmas is a sacred holiday to some people. It's also a worldwide phenomenon. And it started about 2 millennia ago with a Norse holiday, which is called Yule. And they would bring in trees to present life and happiness. And they would also burn logs. And every time the logs sparked, that would represent a new pig or a new calf that was going to be born that year. The feast, Christmas dinner, the Christmas feast, also came from that because that was when they would kill their boars and pigs and sheep or whatever and eat them because they didn't want to feed them during Christmas time. That eventually evolved into Saturnalia, which was a Roman holiday where the winters weren't as harsh. And it was to celebrate their sun god, Mithras, but it was also Saturn. And they would do it on the full moon on the winter solstice, and it would last a month. Everybody would get drunk, and they would switch places. Instead of, the slaves being slaves, they would be the wealthy people, and they would come and knock on each other's doors. And whenever the poor people knocked on the wealthy people's doors, they had to give them their money, their food, whatever they had, the best of their stuff, and that was their charity for the year. And then in the 17th century, the Puritans came into Europe, and English Christmas was a carnival similar to Mardi Gras. It was the same thing. It was the highest conception rate of the year, and Oliver Cromwell came in with Puritans and said, no, that's not cool. You guys can't do that. We want this to be a more traditional holiday. And they switched it and kind of engulfed it with Christianity. Christianity took it over and took the day, the 25th, from Saturnalia. Actually, Jesus was born sometime in the spring, they think, but it wasn't the 25th. They just took it so they could take over the pagan holiday as well and kind of make it all one thing.
So, I think we're all starting to see here. Decorating trees and giving gifts and singing songs isn't everything that goes with the Christmas holiday. Even though that's what most people think of when they think of Christmas. For Christians, December 25th plays a very significant importance to their religion. On December 25th, this day honors the birth of Jesus Christ some 2,000 years ago. But what we bet you didn't know is that in the early years of Christianity, Christians didn't even celebrate Christmas. In fact, there is no mention of December 25th in the Bible. It was only at the start of the 3rd century that December 25th became the actual celebration date for the birth of Jesus, because it coincided with pagan festivals around that time. Also, by the end of the 8th century, all of Europe started celebrating Christmas. But as the pagan roots of this holiday died down, this holiday, as Kaylee said, was marked by many big festivals and parties similar to Mardi Gras. And a lot of the Puritans, as she said, didn't really appreciate it. They didn't see it very fit for what the holiday represented to them. So actually, in 1644, the Massachusetts legislature would fine any people that would celebrate Christmas. They would fine them around 5 shillings, which back then was a lot of money. Now, for us, Christmas didn't really become what it truly is today to us until Germany's Prince Albert brought its country's evergreen trees, like his tradition of decorating evergreen trees, to England when he married Queen Victoria. And that's how today we decorate evergreen trees. Also, there was an image of the royal family that came out in American magazines, and it was around in 1848, and when that came out in the magazines, that's what also led to the trees being brought to America, and also around the same time, that's when we started giving cards, and we would send cards to each other. Then, we all know that everybody loves to get presents around Christmas. It's one of the best things about Christmas. This giving of gifts is an early tradition that can seem back for many generations, and basically it started around the time when the three kings brought the presents for Jesus, and it had many religious aspects. That's where it came from originally. Also, the one topic I haven't touched yet, the most famous of all characters in Christmas would be Santa Claus.
Oh, who is that, and what does he have to do with Christmas?
Who is Santa Claus? That's a good question, Daniel. Santa Claus, he is a very jolly man, and he gives presents to all the children of the world. But Santa Claus actually originated from this man right here. His name was Saint Nicholas of Myra, and he was a Dutch saint that would give presents to all the poor children of the world. And this is what Santa is based off of. Now, what I learned, something new, that I thought was pretty interesting was, with Santa Claus, in the early years, there were many different versions of him. Like, he wore many different things to many different people. It made sense, many different people had different ideas of what he looked like. But, around the 1930s, when Coca-Cola brought this ad out, it was to promote their product. But at the same time, they dressed him in red and white, and this is the colors that stuck to Santa, and this is why he is in red and white. It's because of Coca-Cola, and that's the reason that we all see him like this today. It's the one outfit that stuck, that everybody liked. And one thing we should all remember is that in Christmas, there are a lot of significant history aspects that fall into it, like the dates or the traditions associated with it. And this wonderful holiday Christmas has a long, colorful history that I didn't know that much about. Daniel.
So does everyone in the world celebrate Christmas?
Well, not everyone, Daniel. There's a couple other holidays that people celebrate besides Christmas, and one of them is Hanukkah. Hanukkah also means dedication. And Hanukkah is a festival that tributes the purification and rededication of the temple following the defilement caused by the Greeks during their occupation of that holy place. Today, the holiday reminds Jews to rededicate themselves, to stand against forces that would destroy Judaism, and to keep alive the flame of the Jewish religion, culture, and peoplehood, so that it may be passed on to the next generation. Now, one of the most important things they do on Hanukkah is the lighting of the Hanukkah menorah, and it's one of the most important parts of celebrating the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. This ritual has been observed since the destruction of the temple in celebration of the miracle of the Hanukkah lights. One menorah is usually lit for the entire family, but sometimes the children would like to have their own so they can light it themselves. The Hanukkah menorah is usually lit after nightfall when all the stars appear in the sky. Originally, the menorah was then placed outside a home to the left of the doorpost, and thereby positioning it to the opposite of the mezuzah. And the mezuzah is a piece of a parchment in a decorated case, and it's on the right side of the door. But today, the lit menorah is more commonly placed in or near a window. Both options are fine since the most important thing is that the passerby are able to see the lit menorah and be reminded of the Hanukkah miracle. So during Hanukkah, candles are added to the menorah from right to left. The number of candles corresponds to the night of Hanukkah. 4 candles for the 4th night of Hanukkah. That's an example. In addition to these candles on every night Hanukkah, an additional helper candle called the shamash is used to light the other candles. So I just gave you a verbal explanation of how to light the candles, but I want to show you visually as well. So here's a little video that I'll show you.
The taller helper candle, called the shamish, is used to light the others. It is not counted as one of the candles. On the first night, place one candle at the far right as you face the menorah. So, on the first night, it's very simple. First, light the shamish, then recite the blessings, and then use the shamish to light the candle. On the second night, you light 2 candles, adding a new candle to the left of the previous night's candle. Remember, since you add the additional candle to the left, that newest light is lit first. Then make your way across toward the right. The lighting of the menorah follows the same pattern each night. Now let's look at what the 8th and final night looks like. Again, we add the additional candle to the left and light the newest candle first. Then make your way toward the right until all the lights are kindled and glowing brightly. It's that easy. Oh, and don't forget to spin the dreidel and eat latkes after lighting. Happy Hanukkah.
What a perfect segue for what I'm about to talk about next. Latkes. They are traditionally served for Hanukkah because they're cooked in oil. And by the way, they're potato pancakes. Potato pancakes, that's what they're on. And they're cooked in oil to contribute the bile of the oil for lasting of 8 days. So they're perfect. They're a perfect side dish to have with your main entree, for beef or chicken entree. And then you could also have it as an appetizer as well. And you could have it top it with sour cream, and you could have applesauce on the side. And depending on how big you have them, whether it be this small or this big, you make between 2 to 4 dozen, depending on the size. Now let's talk about the activity that they usually do. Dreidel. Dreidel is a game that is played during Hanukkah as an activity. And here's how you play it. You have to get an equal number of gambling pieces for each player. So you're probably wondering, what are the gambling pieces? Here are the gambling pieces. You can have pieces of candy, coins, you can have potato chips, you can have nuts. It depends on what you want. So you begin play by having each player put in 1 or 2 pieces in a common pot. So we're in like a bowl in the middle of the table. And then you take turns spinning the dreidel and taking the actions determined on the letter you spin. So now you're probably wondering, what do the symbols mean? Well, I'm about to tell you. None means the player takes nothing when you spin that. Gimel means you get everything that's in the pot. Hey means you take half of what's in the pot. And if you land on Shin, well, you got to put in a piece. The winner is the person who collects all the gambling pieces. And now Hanukkah starts at December 16th and finishes December 24th on Christmas Eve. One more thing about Hanukkah. Oh, here, hold on. I have a song. Dreidel song.
I had a little dreidel, I made it out of sand, and when I tried to spin it, it crumbled in my hand. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of sand, and when I tried to spin it, it crumbled in my hand. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of air, and when I tried to spin it, it simply wasn't there. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of air, and when I tried to spin it, it simply wasn't there. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of mud, and when I tried to spin it, it simply was red. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of mud, and
little cradle I made it out of stones. I dropped it on my foot, it nearly broke my bones.
A cradle, 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 I made it out of stones. I dropped it on my foot, and it nearly.
Alright, we get the point. Great song, by the way. So, another thing that they do on Hanukkah is gifts. So Jonathan Sarna, he's a professor for the American Jewish History of Brandeis University, explains that Jews used to exchange gifts only on Purim. Now Purim is a Jewish festival celebrated the 14th day of the month. That's what it used to be until Hanukkah came to be. But in the late 19th century, there was a shift from Purim to Hanukkah. And then Christmas itself became magnified in the late 19th century. So when it became a national holiday in America, they decided that to give gifts. Now, it depends on what kind of family wants to give gifts. I know some families, they make handmade gifts. They can make regular gifts like clothes and toys and whatnot. Then there's also, I know, family, each night, there's 6 kids, and each night they each get $1 for each candle they light. So second night they each get $2 and so forth. So the final night they'll get $36. That's what Hanukkah is all about. Next holiday we're going to talk about is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a week-long celebration held in the United States and also celebrated in the Western African diaspora and in other nations of America. The celebration honors African heritage and African American culture and is observed from December 26th to New Year's Day, January 1st. Culminating in a feast and gift giving, Kwanzaa has 7 core principles and was created by Manuela Carnegie, and it was first celebrated in 1966. It was originally celebrated a successful first harvest such as squash crops. Now here are the 7 core principles. I'll explain each and every one of them. First one is Umuja, and its unity stresses the importance of togetherness for the family and a community, which is reflected in the African saying, I am we, or I am because of we. Second one is Kujikagulia, and its self-determination requires that we define our common interests and make decisions that are in the best interest of our family and community. The third one is Ujima, and its collective work and responsibility reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future, and that we have a role to play in the community, society, and the world. Fourth one is Ujama, and its cooperative economics emphasizes our collective economic strength and encourages us to meet the common needs through mutual support. Next one is Mida, and its purpose encourages us to look within ourselves and to set personal goals that are beneficial to the community. The next one is Kumbaya, and its creativity makes us our creative energy to build and maintain strong and vibrant community. And the last one is Imani, and its faith focuses on honoring the best of our traditions, draws upon the best in ourselves, helps us strive for a higher level of life, like for humankind, and by affirming our self-worth and confidence in our ability to succeed and triumph in righteous struggle. And like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa has a dish too. This is shrimp creole, and it's made with tomato-based shrimp stew over fluffy white rice, and it's rich and flavorful. And then you can adjust the amount of cayenne pepper to make this recipe, whether you want it mild, if you can't handle the heat, or you want it like really hot. So, I hope you learned a lot about some of the other holidays that we celebrate besides Christmas.
So does Santa get paid?
No, Santa doesn't get paid, Daniel.
And how does he make money?
He doesn't make money. He does it out of the goodness of his heart. But our economy makes money. During the Christmas season, there's a lot of part-time hirings. This last year, according to Statista.com, there was 768,000 people who were hired during the holiday season. There's a large increase of spending during the Christmas season as well. You can see there's a steady increase of the amount spent starting in 2000 with $2 trillion, all the way to last year, which was $3.08 trillion, and the predicted value for this year, $3.19 trillion. There's There's also been a steady increase in the e-commerce during the Christmas season, besides 2008 during the recession, where it started at 31.6 billion and has gone up to 61.8 billion. There's a study done by pewforum.org where they interviewed 1,000 people. 9 out of 10 people say that they celebrate Christmas, and 86% of those people buy presents for their friends and family. The same study questioned religious views about Christmas and what people think. And you can see, as pinpointed in the slideshow, that 18 to 29-year-olds, 66% of them believe in the virgin birth of Jesus and that his birthday was on Christmas, but only 39% view it as a religious holiday. I just thought that statistic was interesting. Another section of Christmas that benefits our economy is Christmas trees. There's 25 to 30 million real trees bought annually, which brings a lot of revenue back into the economy, and 8 to 12 million artificial bought annually within the last 5 years. A huge income for during the Christmas season is Black Friday. Last year, there was $57.4 billion spent on Black Friday alone, and there's 307 million shoppers there that day. And of the 307 million shoppers, they spend an average of $740. The last huge economic benefit is the media industry. There's hundreds of thousands of Christmas movies, and it brings a lot of money back into the economy, and here are some of the best of them.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Come and I will sing you. I will sing you one note. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. I will sing you two, oh. Two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. I will sing you three, oh. Three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you four, oh. What will the four be? Four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you five, oh. What will the five be? Five firemen under the bush, four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you six, oh. What will the six be? 66 pallbearers, five firemen under the bush, four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you seven, oh. What will the seven be? Seven sunders under skies, 66 pallbearers, five firemen under bush, four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you eight, oh. What will the eight be? Eight Gabriel angels, seven sunders under skies, 66 pallbearers, five firemen under bush, four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so. Come and I will sing you. What will you sing me? I will sing you nine, oh. What will the nine be? Nine bright-eyed shiners, eight Gabriel angels, seven sunders under skies, 66 pallbearers, five firemen under bush, four gospel preachers, three of them are drivers, two of them are little babes, coated all in green, oh. One, the one that's all alone forevermore shall be so.
So as you can see, the Christmas brings a lot of revenue back into the economy and helps get everyone in the holiday spirit.
Christmas is a holiday that is celebrated by many and that plays a role in all of our lives here in the United States as well as other nations. We hope that we have given you a good understanding of one of the most prevalent holidays in modern society. Thank you and
Merry Christmas!